Hey everyone, this is Anton for Pocket Now, kind of behind the camera. This is a comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S5 and the Samsung Galaxy S4. Our previous hands-on happening in New York. We are here in Barcelona. So let's take a look at last year's model compared to the new kid on the block. So at a first glance, if you look at them from a considerable distance, you will see that they look almost the same. But if you put them side by side, you will see that the Galaxy S5 here on the left is somewhat taller than the Galaxy S4, and that is because the screen is larger, but it's not by that much larger. We are having a 5-inch Full HD display on the Samsung Galaxy S4 and only a 5.1-inch Full HD display on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Of course, the difference in height is because of other hardware. We'll get to that too. But first, we just want to size it up so that you can see how these two compare. We'll just switch the screens up on both of them. This is how they look side by side. I'd say they're approximately there's approximately 4 or 5 millimeters in difference between the two. When it comes to thickness, they're considerably the same. I don't have the exact numbers, but you can see it clearly here. And also, the Galaxy S5 is approximately 2 or 3 millimeters wider, so you can see it right there. Continuing on towards the specs, we mentioned the display, which is Full HD on both of them, 5.1 inches, 5.0 inches. But behind the screen, there is a Exynos 5 octa-core processor or a Snapdragon 600 processor on last year's model, compared to the Galaxy S5, which is powered by a quad-core processor clocking at 2.5 gigahertz. There's 2 gigabytes of RAM on last year's model, 2 gigabytes of RAM on this year's model, and both models come with 16, 32, and 64 gigabytes of internal storage, of course, augmentable via micro SD card. Flipping into the back is where more differences happen. We'll see the good old hyperglaze finish on the Galaxy S4, and this Galaxy S5 has a rubbery feel to it because this phone is also water and dust resistant, not water and dust proof. This cross-drilled rubbery back gives it a much better feel in the hand than the hyperglaze. Gives you that security that you will not slip it out of your hand. And while we are here, we're looking at the standard 13 megapixel camera with no optical image stabilization, plus the LED flash on the Galaxy S4, compared to the 16 megapixel camera with the LED flash on the Galaxy S5. There's a lot of features. The event was all about autofocus, faster focus, HDR for both video and stills. And right there, that's not a secondary camera, that is actually a heart rate sensor. So if enabled, I touch this sensor here and it will read my heartbeat. Going on to the top of them, we'll see that Samsung repositioned the 3.5mm headphone jack to the opposite side compared to the Galaxy S4, and they switched places. The IR blaster is now on the left opposed to the right on the previous generation. Still the power button on the same location, nothing else towards the bottom. We have the micro USB port for syncing and charging, main microphone right there on the bottom. Let's flip to the other side, where we'll see the volume rockers for volume up, volume down, and nothing else. On the back, the speakers are approximately at the same location, so the main design principle